We're diving deep today into a really fascinating artifact of modern nonprofit communication.
Yeah, it's a great piece.
Our source material is an excerpt from a campaign appeal. It was published by the Daughters of Destiny Foundation, and it's focused specifically on educational giving as their current season, wraps up.
And it's a perfect example of how to communicate a mission clearly.
Exactly. So our mission for you, the listener, is to really pull back the curtain on the power of this kind of targeted practical support. We're looking for that aha moment that defines how the smallest things, a pencil, a notebook, can translate a community's generosity into measurable, tangible success for a student.
Especially within an organization this focused.
Right. We aren't just reading a thank you note here. We're analyzing a strategic case study. Okay, so let's unpack this. The foundation uses some really powerful language. What does it actually mean to reframe giving as investing in futures?
That's the key question.
And how does this focus on simple physical supplies maximize their overall impact? Especially, when you compare them to foundations that focus on huge, large-scale infrastructure projects.
Well, that's where the analysis really begins, and it's why this appeal is so effective. I think we can frame this document as a masterclass in effective, transparent mission delivery.
Okay.
The Daughters of Destiny Foundation has a very clear focus, providing tangible, immediate support to young people, and specifically empowering girls through the mechanism of education.
And that word tangible feels so important here.
It is. The initial hook of their message relies on a promise of efficiency. The support they receive isn't just symbolic, It results in essential school supplies reaching children who need them right away.
So there's a direct line from donor to student.
A very direct line of sight, yes. From the donor's decision right to the child's desk. It turns generosity from this abstract concept into a physical presence in the classroom.
And when you look at their core mission statement, empowering young people, especially girls, through education, it's just so clear they understand that language is critical.
Oh, absolutely.
They move way beyond the idea of just charity, and they shift the donor's mindset entirely by redefining the donation itself.
Right.
When they say, when you give, you are not just donating money, you are investing in futures. That's more than just emotional language.
It's strategic. They're basically segmenting their donor base. They're targeting people who want to see a return on their generosity, framing it as a long-term capital injection, not just a temporary handout.
A capital injection. I like that. So it's about building aspiration alongside providing the actual physical resources.
Yes, and making donors feel like partners in a lasting project.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture?
That reframing is absolutely essential for building a sustained donor base. It encourages commitment, not just a one-off payment. They are positioning their work as actively removing systemic barriers to success.
But at a very personal level.
At the most personal level possible. The systemic barrier they're targeting, it isn't the lack of a modern school building. That's a massive long-term project.
Right, that's for governments or huge foundations.
Exactly. Their barrier is the lack of readiness. By providing the tools that let students walk into class prepared and focused, they connect that abstract concept of empowerment to the very tangible result of being able to engage with the curriculum.
It's an investment in the foundational infrastructure of hope.
That's a great way to put it. It ensures the child is ready to receive the education that's being offered.
Wait, but let's play devil's advocate here for a second.
Let's.
We often hear that the real solution lies in massive structural funding, higher teacher salaries, better facilities, comprehensive policy change. So why is the foundation choosing this very granular direct resource model instead of advocating for those huge systemic shifts? Are they kind of missing the broader issue by focusing on pencils?
That raises a really important question about resource allocation strategy. And I think the Daughters of Destiny model prioritizes immediate efficacy. It prioritizes speed of deployment.
So what they can do now?
What they can change today. While policy change and infrastructure investment are, of course, necessary, they are slow. They're often mired in bureaucracy.
We've all seen that.
We have. Handing a child a fully stocked backpack this afternoon removes an immediate hurdle that would have stopped them from learning tomorrow morning. It's a crucial difference. It allows them to deliver 100% on the promise of preparation, rather than getting caught in the slow grind of municipal funding campaigns.
So their success comes from that exclusive focus.
Yes, on the things they can deliver directly and transparently.
And that focus on simple, deliverable resources, That brings us to the core of their appeal. This is where it really gets interesting because the foundation is very, very specific about the items they provide.
The list itself is telling.
It is. They list pencils, books, backpacks, and learning materials. I mean, these are the unsung heroes of educational equity. It's so easy to overlook them because they're so commonplace, but the foundation stresses their dual nature.
They're physical supplies, but they're also more than that.
Exactly. They are also tools for confidence, learning, and hope.
And this is the crux of the socioeconomic deep dive right here. We can analyze this from two perspectives, the financial and the psychological. Financially, providing these supplies relieves a profound, and I think often overlooked, financial burden on low-income families.
You really don't think about the cumulative cost.
No, you don't. But think about it. If a family has 2 or 3 children, providing just the basic grade-level appropriate materials, the required list of pencils, notebooks, binders, that can easily run into hundreds of dollars, and that's before you even consider specialized textbooks.
And for families living paycheck to paycheck.
Or struggling with utility bills, that supply list can be a genuine crisis. It forces painful choices. By eliminating that cost entirely, the foundation is effectively providing a cash equivalent benefit to the family's overall budget.
And then there's the psychological impact, which I think is probably the biggest aha moment here.
I agree. It's huge.
When a child starts school without the required materials, they're immediately at a disadvantage. They feel shame, they draw negative attention from teachers, and they have to spend cognitive energy just worrying about where the next pencil will come from or how to hide the fact they don't have the textbook.
That cognitive energy is so precious.
It is. So the foundation's investment in a pencil or a backpack, it's really an investment in mental bandwidth. It ensures the child walks in prepared, on equal footing with their peers. They minimize that early disadvantage before the first lesson even begins.
So the child can spend 100% of their energy focusing on what they're supposed to be doing, learning. We call that equity of readiness. And the psychological aspect of not having to ask for a pencil or having a backpack that isn't falling apart, you just can't overstate how important that is for building early confidence.
I can only imagine.
And, from a logistical standpoint, the simplicity of the materials, backpacks and books, it also simplifies the foundation's operations dramatically.
Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, consider the scalability. If you're distributing highly specialized resources or technology that requires extensive training, repair cycles, inventory management, it's complicated.
Right, a lot of overhead.
A lot of overhead. Distributing basic school supplies, while it still requires strong organization, is far more efficient and much faster. And that operational efficiency is part of why they can maintain that tight focus and transparent reporting.
Which leads us right into their current fundraising efforts.
It does.
That sustained efficiency brings us to the current campaign push. The appeal makes it very clear that the giving season is wrapping up, which of course adds a sense of urgency to their message, encouraging immediate action.
Standard practice, but they do it well.
They do. And they state their specific fundraising target openly. They are trying to hit the $5,000 mark for this giving season.
$5,000.
And they acknowledge the journey so far. They note they have seen incredible generosity and have made strong progress, but, the race isn't over yet.
And that strategic choice of a $5,000 target is just fascinating. It's what many nonprofit strategists would call an achievable benchmark.
Achievable benchmark. Okay, what does that mean?
It means it's large enough to be meaningful, but it's small enough that individual donors can actually visualize their collective impact in hitting that goal.
I see. So it doesn't feel like a drop in the ocean.
Precisely. Compare that to foundations that aim for, multi-million-dollar targets. Those can feel abstract and, frankly, overwhelming to the average donor. By anchoring the goal at $5,000, the Daughters of Destiny Foundation encourages widespread participation.
Because every single donor feels like they're critical.
They feel critical to crossing that finish line. It's a really effective psychological driver for end-of-season giving.
They seem to be counting on that sense of communal accomplishment. But let's dig into their claim of transparency a little more. They're very keen to stress that continued funds will go directly toward providing more supplies and resources.
Yeah, they imply a very low administrative overhead.
So how does an organization credibly maintain that level of transparency? How do they ensure that almost every dollar is spent on the actual pencils and backpacks and not on, say, electricity or staff salaries? It's a great marketing claim, but What are the operational mechanisms behind it?
It requires a meticulous dedication to efficiency, and it usually relies heavily on in-kind donations and a strong volunteer infrastructure. So when a nonprofit makes this claim, they often achieve it by earmarking specific campaign funds only for supplies, and then covering their overhead costs through separate dedicated grants or highly specialized non-public funding streams.
So they're telling donors.
They are essentially telling donors, your money buys the supplies. We have covered the truck rental and the warehouse space through other means. This commitment to separating the operating cost from the immediate mission delivery cost is a modern gold standard for building trust.
And it makes every donation feel more impactful.
By encouraging continued generosity, they're reinforcing the idea that donors are only stocking inventory. They are funding more physical resources, not abstract bureaucratic needs.
That clarity is their ultimate value proposition. They keep stressing that every contribution, no matter its size, brings them closer to creating that tangible, real change.
Every dollar matters. Every gift counts.
Exactly. It's an appeal that validates the smallest possible donation by showing its direct link to an essential item, like a single book.
That's the perfect synthesis of their strategy. The appeal acts as this powerful trinity. It's a thank you, it's a progress report, and it's a final urgent push.
All in one.
All in one. It ties all three elements together with the promise of continued direct impact on the lives of the students they support, proving that these small, simple tools can be the building blocks of massive educational success.
So synthesizing everything we've looked at today.
The key takeaway is that the Daughters of Destiny Foundation is really a masterclass in targeted micro-impact giving. They successfully transform simple, everyday items, a pencil, a book, a backpack, into foundational tools that create confidence.
And relieve that critical financial stress on families.
Yes, and directly enable student success. They've built their entire mission around the psychological and financial necessity of readiness.
So what does this all mean for you, the learner?
I think it means that focused generosity is highly effective, and the foundation has provided a really transparent model for how nonprofits can communicate success and, maintain donor faith.
Their stated goal is to finish this season strong and make a lasting impact.
And they've made a great case for how they'll do it.
They have. But I want to leave you with one final thought to reflect on. Something beyond this deep dive that connects this micro model to your own community.
Okay.
This foundation showed us that a strategically targeted $5,000 goal focused purely on essential tools can radically transform the educational landscape for a specific group of students. So the question you should consider is this. If a highly specific micro-giving model can achieve such sustained success and psychological equity for students in one community, what would it take to implement this exact, ultra-transparent, resource-focused model in your own city's largest, neediest school district? And maybe more importantly, how would that success even be measured?